Hello and welcome to the Really Big Fucking Podcast, Episode 1.
Hello.
I am Bino,
And my name is Poet.
and we started this podcast in order to delve more deeply into the things that we like about Siege, the things we hate about Siege, and the things we really hate about Siege. We're not going to be pulling any punches. This isn't your dad's Siege podcast.
Yeah, we're not shills.
We're not shills, but today's episode is basically just an advertisement for the Invitational, so in that regard, we are shills.
We are shills.
So yeah, today, first thing we'll be doing is going over our predictions for the Invitational group stages, and then after that we've got an interview lined up with somebody you've probably seen before. Maybe you don't know his name, but you've probably seen him on the Jumbotron or on the Twitch stream at the Invitational, and again at the Atlantic City LAN event. So, and he's been up
his
there.
name's in the title, right? So they know his name by now.
Yeah,
they're watching this.
You know his name if you can read.
Hopefully.
But you've seen him screaming his lungs out, cheering on EG, and we're really excited to have him on and have his perspective of what a LAN event is like in real life.
Yeah.
But anyway, Poet, get us started. Let's get right onto these group stages.
So out of Group A, we got FaZe versus Nip, and Fnatic versus Reciprocity. So who are you taking in the FaZe match?
I don't know. Those two are actually, in my opinion, pretty evenly matched.
I would agree.
I think FaZe maybe not necessarily as tippy top as we've seen them before, but like,
I think it's gonna be close. Definitely. I mean,
Nip has been kind of more playing just like super fraggy meta, right?
I mean, everybody has, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I think there's a chance to see. I think everything is almost a toss up because everybody's been playing super frag heavy now, but now that they have time to adjust and time to like look at VODs and actually do strats, maybe it'll change everything, or maybe it won't. We'll see.
I mean, Nip is has 4 wins and 2 ties, and FaZe has 3 wins and 3 losses currently in the season. I mean, however much stock you want to put in that.
Mm-hmm.
Going through the standings, Nip beat FaZe in week 1. And have they played each other since then? No, they haven't played each other again. Yeah, that's gonna be tough. Honestly, I think that's kind of a coin flip. I'm just gonna go with Nip on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you too, Nip.
Okay, and then the second match is Fnatic versus Reciprocity. This one's really interesting because these teams don't play each other ever.
Yeah.
And Fnatic qualified from being one of like the top. They won, I think they placed second place in the APAC qualifier tournament that they had. They lost to Norengo. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah. Well,
but Reciprocity, I mean, Reciprocity qualified from winning a DreamHack like forever ago.
Yeah, forever ago, and they weren't even doing well in the Pro League season when they did qualify.
Not at the time, but they're doing better now for sure.
Yeah, now they're insane. So I think it all comes down to whether or not Dizzle plays. If Dizzle plays, I think Fnatic gets it.
He was their carry last time, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I honestly think Reciprocity's probably just going to take it.
I think so too.
But that might just be my
on that.
That might just be my NA bias coming out.
I'm going to go ahead and agree with you on that.
But if Dizzle plays, Fnatic 100%.
Fnatic is they are a really strong team, but they have struggled a bit at LAN. I think they've only made it past the qualifiers like once.
Yeah, well, I mean the
quarterfinals.
That's almost as much as you can say for any APAC team, but APAC seems to be improving quite a bit recently.
They really are. I mean, I watched the APAC qualifier live stream, and it was really impressive. I think it was definitely had some room for improvement, but it was really, really impressive.
Yeah, I think just the fact that APAC is still playing and still like getting a spot now that the game has been out for this long, people have been able to like watch VODs, and APAC, despite being somewhat cordoned off from the rest of the world, has been able to
Mhm.
watch everything everybody else is doing and make their own adjustments. So I and the last major, whichever one it was, two APAC teams beat uh, two NA teams. So
Yeah, that's
there you
true.
go.
That's very true. Okay, so moving on to Group B, we got Rogue, Immortals, Empire, and Space Station. Now this group
That's a
looks
spicy group.
awful. It's spicy. I would hate to be in this group. Um, Rogue and Space Station just played in
One of the
the.
craziest matches ever.
It was amazing. It was so exciting. Um, really, really, really awesome game to watch in the season 9 of the Pro League. Uh, and then Empire is just storming through Europe right now. They're what, undefeated currently?
Yeah, unless they just lost a game, which I don't think so.
Yeah, that
But last I knew, they were undefeated.
that's happening like concurrently to this broadcast, so
Oh,
we don't know about that one yet. And then Immortals. Immortals are a really another strong team out of Latin America.
yeah.
Um, yeah, that's a tough group.
I
Let's see what's Immortals are second place right now in LATAM, 3 wins and 3 ties.
hmm and I think because Team Empire is playing just out of their minds, but also that sort of like take your brain out of your skull and just go kill everybody style,
Yeah,
which is what Brazil loves to
you
do
mean
too.
the current meta?
Yes, which is what Brazil does also. So I'm excited to see this
Yeah,
match,
that's
and
been the Brazilian playstyle since day one.
I honestly don't even care who wins. I just want to see some nutty stuff
You mean from Rogue SSG?
from Immortals Empire.
Oh,
Like I
Immortals
just,
Empire.
yeah, I just want to see people going crazy.
It's gonna happen, and I think the Rogue SSG game is gonna be really really cool to watch.
hmm
Uh, I don't even know who to give the edge to. I think you're right. I would like to see Empire take it over Immortals. You know, I'm calling that. I'm gonna call Empire over Immortals.
I'm uh
Um,
I'm saying the winner of Empire versus Immortals is the viewers.
the viewers, exactly, exactly. Um, I just like that underdog tale. You know, they came up out of Challenger League. They're not really underdogs that much because they stomped in Challenger League basically.
And they've stomped so
Um,
far in Pro
and
League
they've
too.
stomped so far in Pro League.
So
True,
yeah,
very
yeah,
true.
they're barely even considered underdogs anymore, I guess. But
No, but
that'll be good.
Rogue SSG is going to be tough. I'm going to give it to Rogue just based off of their play history, even though I know they did just tie
hmm
in their most recent matchup.
Yeah,
But I think both of those matches are going to be just absolute fire.
yeah. I think a lot of it depends on how much Rogue can counter strat, how much they can like glean from what they've just played against Space
Right.
Station on. Although, I mean, to be fair, it was only one map, just border, so
Yep.
it's hard to say what they can actually
Yeah,
come
it
up with
definitely
that's going to
depends
help
on
them
the
again.
maps. Yeah. Um, the maps and the band
Yeah, and we'll see if
are going to
Rampage
play a big role in
turns
that
out
one.
again.
Jeez, Rampy's a nut.
Watch them
Um,
just ban Ash.
ban Ash against Space Station.
Yeah,
I mean, they're definitely banning Ash against Empire. Immortals will most likely.
I could see
Um,
that.
if you don't, you're kind of just handing them a free win. I mean, um, yeah. So I got Rogue and Empire coming out of Group B. I don't know. Do you have any?
Honestly, I prefer Space Station over Rogue. Like, I'm more of a Space Station fan.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna say Space Station, and then
I
Immortals
honestly don't.
Empire. I don't care which team wins. I
I
just want to
honestly
watch
don't
it.
care which teams wins out of any of these 4 teams. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Like Rogue or Space Station, they're both going to represent NA really well. Immortals Empire, it's going to be a fantastic match. I'm not really invested in either region.
yeah,
I
for
like
sure.
Empire, but yeah, you're absolutely right. The winners are going to be the viewers. And then Group C, the the elephant in the room. We got G2, Mocket, Liquid, and Mantis. So
Yeah.
G2 will be going up against Mantis, which is the Korean team. I'm just gonna go ahead and give that to G2, just kind of right off the bat.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, not to disparage Mantis at all. I mean, they put up a pretty good show in the APAC Open qualifiers,
Hmm.
but it's G2. I mean, you
Yeah, I don't think
can't
there's any
deny it.
other. I don't think there's any reasonable person who would say that Mantis has a whole lot of a chance. But I mean, they do have a chance, just not much of one.
Yeah, that's fair. And then Mach Liquid is actually interesting because these are both teams that were previously fairly strong, but are now kind of struggling.
Hmm.
Um,
I think Mocket seems to be struggling a little bit more than Liquid at the moment.
I absolutely agree. I mean, like looking at the standings, Liquid is 4-2 um, in Latin America, and Mach I believe is dead last.
Yeah, they're 0 and 4 as of a couple days ago, at least.
1-4. Now they beat Ents in their most recent match, but they are
Okay.
currently tied for last with Team Secret at 1-4. Yeah,
Mm,
so that's not looking good.
yeah.
I mean, who knows? In this kind of environment, like especially playing online in the group stages, which I'm not even sure how that's going to work.
Yeah,
Uh,
and they qualified from season 8. Okay. So, yeah, they've got to pick it back up or else they're not really like just cuz you did well last year doesn't mean you can keep it up. So, that's
yeah, for sure, for sure.
that's
I'm gonna give that one to Liquid. Um,
yeah. I think this is by far the most straightforward of the groups.
yeah, absolutely. I think so too, and probably the least stacked of the groups. Um, I mean, yeah, G2 is G2.
Yeah.
They are quote unquote struggling, a bit if
Uh-huh.
you believe it. I'm on the fence about it. I mean, there's a good argument either way, whether they're strat saving or whether they're just having trouble, sort of adapting to the new meta.
Yeah, I think it
Um,
it honestly just comes down to the benefits of saving strats is greater to the benefit than the benefit of like getting one extra win or two extra wins in the pro league season.
I absolutely agree. I
Like
mean,
there's so much money on the line for the invitational.
the most amount
It
of money in the Rainbow Six history. Yeah,
yeah. So there's no incentive for them, like you've said. There's no incentive at all for them to show everything in an
and if you know
effort to
anything
just
about,
get an
if you
extra
know,
win during the season.
absolutely. And if you know anything about Fabian, you know that he takes his winning very seriously.
Hmm.
I think it was in the Stumped on Siege um, quiz that he took with Goga, where he uh, sort of half jokingly lorded over him the fact that he's won more money. Like that made him a better player. That's what he considers a better player. The fact that I've won more money than you. So
Yeah.
um, I think that he takes it pretty seriously. Okay, so Liquid and G2 coming out of Group C. Group D, another just stacked group. You got EG, Norengo, Penta, and Lestream. Um, and just talking about the two EU teams in this group, Penta and Lestream. Lestream is performing really well. Uh,
And
Penta is also performing fairly well. They're 2-1-2 at the moment.
yeah.
Um,
And it's weird because the teams that Penta has beat are like really good teams. Or at least
that is, yeah.
Yeah, because Ents is placed higher than them and they beat Ents. And then
Hmm.
they tied G2,
They tied G2. Yep.
which I mean
They beat Secret, which Secret is a really strong team. Their Secret is struggling on their own, but they beat Chaos as well.
yeah, and
Uh,
Chaos is the second seed at the moment, or the second place in the standings.
uh,
So I think parts of this group are a total toss up.
well, and then going back to week 2 of EU, Lestream stomped Penta though, 7-1.
Yes, yes. So
But it depends on the maps, right? It depends on the maps, depends on the bands. Um,
yeah, and it's honestly a little bit difficult to glean anything off of just the Pro League season standings, simply because they're one ofs, like best of
yeah,
ones.
absolutely. And Lestream and Penta aren't even playing each other, right? It's EG and Lestream,
Hmm.
which I'm gonna give that to EG.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to them purely out of force of will. If my force of will can win them the game, then I'm gonna give
um,
it to them.
but Penta Norengo is really, really interesting because Norengo has the potential to be an incredibly strong team coming out of APAC.
Yeah, I think that'll be
Um,
the match to watch from this group for sure.
absolutely, and I'm gonna go ahead and give that to Norengo just in my little bracket here because
I'm just
I'm
gonna
part Japanese, so
well, there you go. And I'm part European, so I'm just gonna hand it to Penta just to be a contrarian.
I'm part European too. Okay,
Okay, well, I'm
it's a
more.
conflicting match for me. Yeah. um, okay, so I wonder how the seeding goes into the quarters because I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, that's actually a great question, and I have no clue. I bet elements of it will be random, so it's probably hard to speculate anything off of that.
Probably. But so Ninjas in Pajamas, Reciprocity. Well, this is my bracket. I've got Ninjas in Pajamas, Reciprocity, Rogue, Empire, Liquid, G2, Norengo, and EG all making it to quarters. Um,
I'm on board with that
has This
for
is
the
going to
most
be
part.
such an exciting tournament.
Yeah, I'm planning to just sit around for like 48 hours and just watch it.
Oh, absolutely,
I
absolutely.
won't be doing anything that entire weekend other than watching it.
Yeah, seriously. So don't bother me. I'm watching. I'm watching Invitational.
Yeah, and I'm just excited because there's so much stuff just aside from the game that I think is going to be exciting. Like the new release stuff, like all the things they're going to say about the like new operators
Hmm.
and like the new map, the new operator reworks. Ideally, the ranked rework. Ubi, please.
Ideally, yeah. The year four
Um,
roadmap would be nice to see.
yeah, and man, I'm just so ready for this game to like actually go up a notch because it's honestly been kind of a drag recently, just because like ranked is in such a poor shape,
Yeah,
and I think this might be a turning point. So,
I hope so. I would agree with that. I think that this is sort of a crossroads where it can go either really well or kind of peter out. But I mean, according to you know, according to a statistic that I heard in a stream from someone quoting a different statistic that I didn't fact check in the least. Um, Ubisoft made $440 million off of Siege last year,
hmm,
um, which close to $500 million. Not bad, right?
yeah, seems sufficient.
Yeah, yeah, sufficient. Um, so, and with that said, I mean, it's great. It's great for the game, but it puts a lot of pressure, I think, on Ubisoft to reinvest a lot of that back into the game. Um,
Yes.
because if the players don't see any improvement in like the UI, for instance, or the amount of bugs and glitches, or um, the level of customization and stuff like that, then
Mm-hmm.
uh, I
That's
think
that.
that people are going to start getting frustrated.
Yes, I think the specifically um, the amount of customization and like the spectator cam situation, the
Hmm.
the customization in custom games, like the amount of stuff you can do, the
Right,
fact that there's just no training mode, like there's no option to go into a map with infinite ammo and just practice things,
right.
is, in my opinion, a huge hindrance to people that want to get into the competitive side of the game. And when it comes down to it, the competitive side of the game is what's going to make this game long lived. Like you can only last casually so long in a game that is inherently competitive.
I agree.
So like it's not Candy Crush where you can just like keep adding levels and
Yeah, it's not.
people
Yeah, it's
keep
not like
playing.
procedurally generated or anything. It's discrete content
Yeah.
that you have to actually design.
So you have to keep people engaged with more than just new operators and
Hmm.
like new maps. You have to like foster a community of people that want to keep playing it.
Right, exactly. And I mean, if you take a look at how the game was in beta and release, like it's come a long way. It's
Hmm.
come an incredibly long way.
For sure. And
If
the
you were
and
to
the pro
revert the
scene,
game back to the way it was back then, I mean, everybody would quit. Like nobody would play anymore.
100%. Yeah, and the pro scene is the advertisement for this game. So if
Absolutely.
if if the pro scene doesn't look good, doesn't look fun, like people are gonna stop playing, or at least at the
Yeah.
very least, you're gonna stop getting new people because
Well, you're gonna
people.
stop getting new people, and you're gonna stop getting new sponsors and advertisers and media attention, um, which is just not good for the game. And
Yeah.
uh, the players do contribute a lot. I mean, we all contribute a lot of money in the season passes and buying our 6 credits to get the fun customization items. We are the ones that put up half of the prize money for the invitational by
Yeah.
our purchases and microtransactions. But in an age now where people despise microtransactions, um, think about EA, for instance. I think that it's a credit to our community that we understand the fact that our microtransactions go toward the betterment of the game and not just the filling of some CEO's pocket.
Uh huh.
Um, which I mean, because if you think about it, I mean, how much of an uproar is there in the Siege community about microtransactions?
Very little, as far as I know.
Very little. As far as I know, I don't hear about it at all. Nobody complains about um, having to spend real life money to get certain customization items or whatever, because we all know, at least we all believe, that it's funding the development of the game and paying the pro players. And um,
Yeah, and as soon as that trust is kind of broken, then people will stop buying their stuff.
yeah, exactly. And the internet is a fickle thing. You can
Very.
be the good guys one day and then just be the absolute worst
And then you can
people
come
in the
out
world the
with
next.
uh, Chinese censorship stuff and be the cartoon supervillain the next day.
Yeah, yeah, temporarily, yeah.
Which I don't want to get into that, but that was a
that's
mess.
that's an episode. That's a different episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
Maybe that'll probably crop its head up again at some point, and we can talk about it then.
probably.
So going back to the top of the invitational, here's our interview with someone who has been there. He's a man of hype and energy and excitement. He's the crazy EG fan himself, Master Yoda. So, Yoda,
Yes.
thanks for coming on the really big fucking podcast, is what we call it.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you for being our first guest. And
It's a pleasure.
I want you to just kind of introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, which team you root for, if anyone has any confusion on that, and how you got involved with Siege, and why you are known. Why do we know who you are, and why did we bring you on the podcast?
All right. First of all, my name is Yoda, but my name is Master Yoda in game, but you can call me Master Yoda or a crazy EG fan. Doesn't bother me bother me at all. I got introduced in Siege because I saw the E3 trailer, and honestly, it looks really fantastic. I started playing in the beta, and I started playing on PS4 back in the days,
Yeah,
and
same, same.
Yeah, me
and
too.
when my best friend Vincent or Synergy, he's my duo on Twitter and everywhere. I know him in personal life. He's my best friend. When he started playing on PC 2 years ago, I was like, well, I want to kind of get involved into PC. I was looking to get into PC before, so that's where I started to get on PC. We know me pretty much for the whole Six Invitational 2018, where I was showed up on the Jumbotron as the guy who screams a lot for EG. And
Did you try to get that seat in the front specifically for that?
no, not at all. We just wanted to get to be seated in the front to get the most of the action.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite team is obviously Evil Geniuses or EG.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Have you how long have you followed the game then professionally? Pretty much the entire time?
Since the beginning, yeah.
Gotcha. And you've been
Wow.
a CTM or EG fan the whole time?
Yes. Oh,
How
yes.
far we've come since those days.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I remember season one, year one, season one, where Penta didn't had Shate, they had Ovi.
Man, there's so many names that I just don't even have any reference for anymore. Like I watched Pro League since it started, and there's just so many names that I can't even keep track of them anymore.
Yeah.
So I guess my first question would be just what was it like? You know, I've never been to a LAN event. I'd love to go, but it just seems like the environment is so awesome.
Oh, that's fire. That's fire. Honestly, in my word, that's fire. It's just a bunch of people passionate about the game and passionate about the whole scene that
Mhm.
just really want their team to win. And it was Six Invitational was my first LAN I went to.
In
Uh,
2018, right?
In 2018, yes.
Okay.
And I started at the beginning watching them the beginning. But I remember Six Invitational 2017 in Montreal at the Central C. And honestly, I've been in love with the game since, and it was last year. It was just fire. Like I don't know how to put it, but it was
I was amped up just
awesome.
watching it on stream. I mean, it was like gave me goosebumps just watching it, like all the people, because I love the game just as much as everybody.
What was awesome last year is that they when the diffuser was planted, all the lights turned red, and
Oh wow.
the live action was changed up when something happened. Back in our back, you had a jumbo screen that was doing the whole curve of the stage, and players had their photos and everything. And when they were killed, the photo was shut down and replaced by a grayish character.
That's so cool.
I was rewatching the VOD from the 2017 Invitational just this morning, and it's amazing to see how far the production value has gone too. Like this game has just taken off so far as Pro League is concerned.
Yeah. Yes.
So how much did it like cost you to get out there?
I'm French Canadian. I live right by Montreal actually. Like I live in the
Oh, cool.
suburbs of Montreal, so it only cost me the ticket.
The ticket, okay.
Yeah, I slept at
That's
I slept at Synergy's house actually.
That's pretty sweet.
His ex house, because sadly his house burned up
oh
not so long
yeah.
ago.
That sucks.
So yeah, but
That-
we're going back this year, obviously, and
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
pretty excited. We're pretty excited. It's gonna be awesome.
It's got to be a good thing for an EG fan to live that close to Montreal.
Oh yes, yeah,
Just 'cause-
definitely.
And
Definitely.
did you happen to pick your team that you were going to follow based on Canadian, or was that just a happenstance?
No, that was just that just happens to be that was just a coincidence. When I started following the esports and the Pro League of Siege, I was kind of rooting for Penta. With
As you do, you know.
yeah, like honestly, Pangu was my favorite player at the beginning, but when I started following NA and everything, I fell in love with EG, and I became EG or CTM at the time, and I just fell in love with the guy.
So have you met the guys at any of the lands, or I guess
I met Necrox live last year at Invitational, but
that's awesome.
I've never met the AG roaster, all of them.
Are you gonna
They
work on
think,
that this year?
yeah,
Oh yes,
seriously. You'd
yes,
think
of
that
course.
they'd know you by now, and so give you like a backstage or something.
You know,
Yeah.
I was thinking about that today, and you know, they probably actually haven't seen you as much as most of the fans have, just because they're busy playing the game when you're screaming.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's kind of awesome what happened in 2018. 2018, for me, like I would never expect it in my lifetime, and I'm so grateful for that. Like honestly, uh, I I would never imagine doing that like for fun and
Mm.
being recognized for it.
Hmm.
So honestly, to all the fans, all the people that following me on Twitter, thank you so much.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably been a nice publicity bump for you.
Yes. Oh
Um,
yes.
so you said that the Invitational in 2018 was the first land that you went to. How
Mhm.
many have you been to?
I've been to two. I've been to Atlantic City was my second one, and my last one. But I hope to go to this like majors and everything in the future.
Hmm. And
Oh, that sounds so awesome.
how did the Atlantic City compare to the Invitational?
Uh, Atlantic City, not that it wasn't a good production. That was amazing, but it wasn't as good as the Six Invitational. Six Invitational was like, if we can put it on a scale of 1 to 10, Six Invitational was like a 12, and Atlantic City was a 10.
Gotcha.
That's
Which
still pretty impressive, though.
Yeah, yeah, you can say that.
for sure. If you're going to an event, like I've been wanting to go to an event forever,
Mhm.
just haven't had the time yet. Like, what tips would you give me if I'm headed off to an event to have the best time?
Uh, Well, first it depends on where it is. If it's up here in Canada, in Montreal, bring your sweater and your coat, your biggest coat. It's freezing balls
Yeah.
well right now in the winter. But also bring yourself your jersey and nothing much actually. Just like
Hmm.
bring your passion, bring your energy, bring your hype.
Yeah,
That's
I've
mostly it.
I've been to events for other games, and I think that actually stands out. Just bring the hype, because like I play Smash Brothers Melee pretty competitively, or
Uh-huh.
at least I used to, and I've been to events for that. And the best part is just standing in a crowd with a whole bunch of other fans and just screaming and chanting.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a great
that's
feeling.
that's mostly it.
Yeah, that's part of the beauty of land events. We're all fans of the same thing, but we're all spread out. We don't really meet each other in real life and share our energy, and then you all
Hmm.
get together in the same place and you can feel comfortable just loving a game. It sounds so
Yeah,
cool.
that's what I love about esports. Like you're just standing there with a bunch of people you don't even know. Like
Yeah.
last year I met a lot, but a lot of people. And right now there's a guy I met in Atlantic City, Crisis, which is who is my best friend now. Like
Mm.
I've never known the guy, but now he's my best friend. That's what I love about LAN events. Like you just go out there, meet a lot of people that have the same passion as you, and just become friends. That's just awesome.
So I've got a question uh, about EG specifically.
Mhm.
If you had to pick one, who do you go with? BC Geo or King George?
Oh Jesus Christ! I can't pick the three of them. Huh? Jesus. Honestly, honestly, I couldn't answer that because I've talked to three of them.
Really?
Actually, no, I haven't talked to King George. So I would get King George out of the equation. But I've talked to both of Geo and BC, and both of them are really nice guy. So I couldn't answer that properly because if we could have a six guy roster team,
Yeah.
both of them would be in there. Like,
Yeah, BC was definitely the grenade master. I think if you need somebody grenaded, uh,
oh,
you call BC.
yes.
Hmm. But if
I
you need
remember
somebody to flick on a head, Geo.
Yeah,
Geo.
yeah.
If you need
Geo's nutty.
if you need nades, BC. Yeah,
I
And if
feel
you
you.
need the hype, it's Canadian.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, one of the things that drew me to this team was just the likability of all the players. So yeah, I feel you on that. Like BC,
Mhm.
Geo, super likable people. Canadians, super likable. I sit in like Necrox and Young streams sometimes. I'm also a crazy EG fan. I'm just not known for it yet.
Yeah, it will come to we'll come to it one day.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't lose the hype.
Yeah, I'm just hoping they get some kind of live event out here on the West Coast sometime because that's where we're at.
Well,
Yeah.
isn't EG getting a team house in Seattle? What you were saying?
Yeah, yeah, they're moving to Seattle, so actually I'll only be a few hours away from them.
Yeah, me too. I'm
Not too
actually moving
bad.
back to Seattle in like a week, so
Gee, that's
yeah,
nice.
I might run into him at the supermarket. Who knows?
Who knows?
You have to creep on them and hunt them down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, go full stalker status.
Yeah, you're the
I,
paparazzi for EG
I
now.
think I think for them it's gonna be awkward. Like people coming to them at the supermarket and like, hey, I know you. Can I take a picture with you?
Yeah, I
They're
bet
gonna
that's
be
super
like,
weird. I remember Antero was talking about that, how somebody recognized him in public, and he's like, "How? Like,
why? What's
I'm
going
only,
on?
I'm like a caster for, an esports organization on the internet. How do you know me?"
Mhm.
Um, but I think that speaks to how big the game is getting, because
Yeah, and that's what I love about esports actually, because it's such a growing industry and such a growing thing that there we're in people and casters and players are not used to it, but in the future it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a common thing, and that's what I look forward to.
yeah, me too. I think so, and I hope so.
Yeah, and I
Uh,
hope I hope Siege to be like the biggest growing esport
I hope so
of
too.
all
I
time.
love this game. I think it's super unique. It has a
Mhm.
really interesting take on the first person
Mhm.
strategy thing. I love it.
Yes.
well, speaking of esports organizations, I don't know anything about it, but tell me about Guidance Gaming and what you do there.
I'm right now I'm just a community member. How it happened is that I met the owner of Guidance, Stay Puft in Atlantic City, and I kind of wanted to get involved with an organization because, well, I thought it would be a break into in this world, and maybe some opportunity in the future. And I just you just hooked me up with Guidance. I was like, well, yeah, I kind of want to get involved into the sports scene. So I was like, hey, do you want to join Guidance? Okay, why not?
Yeah, sure. I mean, opportunities are opportunities. You can't really pass
Mhm.
them up.
No.
Is that the same Guidance that's a Challenger League team in Latin
Yes.
America? Okay,
Yes.
that's super cool. I mean,
Yeah.
um, Latin America is a really awesome region. They have a lot of passionate fans and players,
hmm
and
Like
to be
most
involved in that is super cool.
the most passionate fans we know are Brazilians. Like
Yeah, yes.
Brazilians
I
are
think Brazilians are just the most passionate people in general. Just
yeah, with soccer, with esport, they're the
yeah,
same. They they,
yeah.
they win, they cry, they lose, they cry. It's fun to see. It's good to see, and
Hmm.
that's what I love about them.
Yeah, that's great.
Absolutely.
I would have loved to be at the Rio
Oh,
tournament.
Oh
would have
yeah.
been insane in final with FaZe and G2. Oh Jesus.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh-huh.
So looking forward to this invitational.
Yeah.
Just looking at the groups that EG is in, we got Nora Rengo, one of the top teams out of APAC, Penta and Lestream. That group, I think, widely considered to be like the group of death.
Yeah.
Yeah,
with
and in
streams.
case you don't have it up in front of you, I put it down here in the chat so you can see.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm not getting any prediction right now, but I think EG can make it easy into
I think so too. I mean, EG is really like
quarterfinal.
they're really performing really well this season so far. I think they're 5-0 so far.
Yeah,
In
5-0, really strong.
really strong.
What I what I what me and Synergy were talking about yesterday, like Group C with G2, Market, Liquid, and Mantis.
Hmm.
G2 are having a terrible season right now, and
Yeah, that's true.
honestly, I'm kind of happy with that because I don't want them to win the Six Invitational this year.
Well, so speaking of the quote unquote terrible season they're having, I mean, do you want to weigh in on the strat saving, thing? Do you think they're saving strats or
I'm not.
um,
I don't think they're saving strike. I think it's just the fact that other team caught up on them, and they have not adapted yet. But I don't think that we're gonna see the G2 we're seeing right now. That we're gonna see them at the Invitational. I think at the Invitational they're gonna be stronger and more powerful. So it's gonna be a good battle to see.
I hope so. I mean, all the groups really are looking pretty bad. I think G2 probably has one of the easiest groups,
Mhm.
with Mocket and Liquid and Mantis, who are all kind of. I mean, Mantis is one of the top teams to qualify out of the APAC region as well, the Korean team.
Yes.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mocket hasn't been doing too well this season. Um, Liquid,
Liquid was not that bad, but they have not the best season they had
yeah, they're
ever.
4-2 currently.
Yeah, we've seen them perform well, more well. Oh.
Yeah, definitely. They have been looked better in the past, I think.
Uh-huh.
So
yeah,
I guess if you could, I know that you want EG to win, and I know
Mhm.
Bino you want EG to win too. I'm kind of a Rogue fan myself, so don't
Okay.
hate me.
No,
Um,
I don't hate you. Don't worry.
well, all us NA boys are on the same team, but um,
I have a Rogue jersey. I'm rooting for Rogue too, but I'm more
nice,
rooting
yeah,
for Evil Geniuses too.
yeah, for sure, for sure. So if you had to, I guess you said no hard predictions, but if you had, obviously you want EG to win, but who do you think might win? Uh, putting EG to the side.
Putting EG to the side, I see Team Empire, who are really strong right
they're crazy.
Great point.
now. Team Reciprocity could be an equation too. G2, we cannot pull them aside. Like
You really can't. Yeah.
they have the chance to win that. So if I may think about it, like semifinal would be Team Empire, EG, G2, and Team Reciprocity.
That's a fair prediction. I probably would predict something along the same lines.
Like,
I think
I don't want to crap over Rogue. Like Rogue have their chance too, but I think Empire are more stronger.
Rogue definitely has been struggling a bit this season too, though.
Yeah.
Going back to the VODs, they definitely don't look as good as I think they can.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams are having a little bit of a struggle adapting to the super aggressive playstyle that's come out in the last like week and a half, 2 weeks,
Well,
3 weeks.
and part of it for me too is just how much they're playing. Instead of having one game a week, they're having 2-3 games a week.
3, yeah.
And,
yeah, so it'll actually be really interesting to see with a little bit of prep time which teams can actually perform. Because
Yeah.
right now it's just like game after game after game, and there's not a whole lot of time to prep.
Yeah.
Well, and that's when the sort of brainless, pull your brain out of your skull and just frag mindlessly.
That's a good
Strategy
point.
kind of wins out because I don't think they have the capacity to think about the game anymore after playing so much.
Hmm. Well, right now they have a 2-week break before the Six Invitational, so
Right. Yeah, it will be really interesting.
this 2 week gonna be beneficial for a lot of teams like G2. I think it's gonna be beneficial for them.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. I hadn't really even thought of that angle before. That the constant playing is forcing strategy to the wayside and just making people play really crazy.
Yep.
Have you so you've seen the new playlist that's on in the game, the Six Invitational playlist
Yes,
that's Pro League light, but kind of like casual, I guess. What are your thoughts on that?
I love it.
You-
Honestly, I really love it. I had a lot of fun playing last night, playing that playlist with some of my best friend, and yeah, it's really fun. Like
I absolutely agree.
it
To
gives
me,
you
just
it gives you an insight of what pro leagues look like without
right.
really getting really much into it. It just shows you a little of the configuration of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
to me,
sure.
it feels like it's like the way that the game should be played. It just feels right,
Mhm.
you know. Like playing it's like it's just so much better.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had as much fun as I did last night because like Poet and I were actually planning to do some recording last night to talk about to like record some podcast, and we just never got to it because we were having too much fun playing the
We did
game.
have a lot of fun,
Yeah.
Like
which
I've
is
kind of stopped playing ranked recently just because it's not fun anymore because there's too many maps that don't belong in ranked and the rules don't make any sense. They're not
R4
competitive,
base.
right? And now it actually feels good to play. It feels like when I'm scrimming because I'm a collegiate coach for a college in Georgia, and we scrim all the time, and that's where I actually have fun. And being able to play that same style of play, but in a matchmaking setting where I get to play, just nonstop games, is amazing.
Yeah. Lately, what I've seen, because a lot of people talk to me about it, they only play like Border or Villa a lot on this playlist. I don't know if that's a
we
narrow.
got Consulate, I think, 3 times in a row, and
Damn.
then yeah. So
Yeah, we didn't get Villa once last night, I don't think.
Oh, Jesus
we
Christ.
we did get Villa once, but that's it, just the one time. It was like mostly Coastline and Consulate. Um,
Most part of the time I had
it
Villa.
must just be the West Coast East Coast thing.
Yeah.
Could
Yeah.
be. But yeah,
As long as it's not theme park, then I don't care.
yeah, for real. As long as I don't have to play on cafe, like sign me
Yeah.
up. I would play
Or
I would play a
Skyscraper.
Consulate only playlist if it meant I never had to play on cafe again.
I agree. Cafe, I agree. I hate. It was a good map at the beginning because meta was different back then, but
Hmm.
now with the new meta, the new meta with Lion and Dokkaebi and Blitz and Finka and
Yeah,
these kind
Ying
of
when that map or when
Ying.
Ying came out, she was crazy on that map.
Yeah. Now I think it would need a rework. Not Hereford-based talking rework,
Hmm.
but Clubhouse talking rework.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a good
Like
rework.
yeah, just some changes to adapt to the new meta. Not like Hereford like changing everything up and just having to rediscover the whole map.
I honestly think that a lot of the maps could use a buff. I mean, especially now in Pro League, they have the 2-round rotation system
Hmm.
where it forces you to go to that third site. Most maps don't even have a viable third site.
Yeah, Oregon
Yeah.
needs a little tweaking, I think.
Oregon for sure, yeah.
That's one of the big
Yeah,
ones.
low.
Especially when Mira's banned on Oregon, like now it's just basically impossible to hold kitchen, and people are switching to tower just because it's slightly more viable, seemingly, in Pro League.
Mm,
So, yeah, it'd be nice to see several maps get a little bit of tweaking just to make them fit in the new meta.
yeah, you're right.
Well, Yoda, we're about hitting our time cap on this interview. I really want to thank you for coming on and sharing your experience with us on our first inaugural episode.
Well,
Um,
it was my pleasure, honestly.
no, it was great talking to you. It was really nice meeting you, and I wish you all the luck and meeting the guys and going to the next event. And we'll see you on screen, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Well,
Yeah,
thank you guys. It was really fun, and I hope we could catch some gameplay sometime.
yeah, and
Yeah, absolutely.
real quick before we leave, tell people where they can find you on social media.
You can find me on on Twitter at MasterYodaR6. You can that's basically where you can find me on social media. My Facebook is really private, and
As it should be.
as it should be, obviously. And on Instagram you can follow me, but I don't post very much.
Yeah, I definitely see you're pretty active on Twitter though.
Yeah, I'm pretty active on Twitter. On Instagram, my real name is actually Alec Laberge, so Alec.Laberge1.
I will get a spelling of that and we will put it in the show
I,
notes.
I'll put it in the chat door.
for everyone who's not French Canadian.
I'll put that's my gamer tag, and I'll put my there you go.
Beautiful.
There's my Instagram, and honestly, it was great talking to you guys.
Yeah,
Oh,
thanks
it
so
was
much.
fantastic talking to you.
Yeah, we'd love to have you back on after the Invitational, maybe to get some
Of course.
retrospective.
Of course, just DM me whenever you want.
Thanks.
All right,
Thank
see you
you.
guys.
Yeah,
See
see
ya.
ya.
Have a good one.
See you. Bye bye.
Man, what a cool guy. Like, that was such a fun interview.
Yeah, for sure. I've been wanting to do that forever too, just because I've always known who he was, but didn't know if there was any way to get in contact with him. And like the moment I talked to him on Twitter, he was just like, "Yeah, sure. Like, hit me up."
Yeah, that's the magic of the internet.
Yeah, and honestly, he's like half the reason I wanted to start a podcast, just because I want to get guests who aren't pros and who like just enjoy the game as much as we do, and
Yeah,
hit the nail on the head with that guy.
I absolutely agree. But yeah, I mean, that's the first episode in the books. Thanks everybody for listening. It was really fun to put this together, and you know, let's see, what are we up? We're up on.
We should be up on just about everything, anywhere podcasts can be found. We'll have
iTunes.
yeah, it should be on iTunes, anywhere else. Just search for us. Search for Really Big Fucking Podcast, and you'll find us. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll have links to our Twitters in the description, and you can find us on. You can find like the podcast in general on Twitter at Really Big Podcast. And other than that, I think that's a wrap for the first episode. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks.
We will catch you later.